Dr. Shawn Wilson is the Secretary of Louisiana's Department of Transportation and Development. Dr. Shawn, I know it's February, but Happy New Year. We haven't had you in a while. Welcome back to KEEL. How you been?
Well, I think it's the year of the pig, and it was Happy New Year yesterday, was it?
I think it was, in fact.
I think you're right.
So Happy Chinese New Year.
There you go. Let's be global. Happy Chinese New Year.
The year of the road. How's that sound?
The year of the gas tax. How's that sound?
That sounds even better.
Barksdale.
But I don't think we're going to be celebrating that year.
No, I don't think we
the
are.
governor said not. He didn't think it was going to happen this year.
Yeah, Barksdale.
Well, I think he's a realist, and I think he's real practical. And unfortunately, I think we missed our opportunity to really make a difference for infrastructure in 2017. And I promised I wasn't going to talk about the gas tax today, but I do want to say this one thing to you. If I don't have about $60 million in surplus money that hasn't been recognized yet, I will not match my current level of federal funds for the new year starting July 1. And so, people need to know that we're obligated to tell the truth, and we are short to make match this current year, and the program that will be approved will be shorter.
Pardon me, Shawn, not to get overly wonkish, but walk us through exactly what you mean, if you can, in about 45 seconds or so.
45 seconds. In order for me to get the $700+ million that I currently get from the federal government, I actually have to provide 20% or 10% on each project that I use that money for. And that's going to fund, just hypothetically, 300 projects this year. If I don't have that 20% or that 10%, I can't get all of the money. I will only get as much money as I have to match. And so, for example, last year we got $80 million extra. I had to provide 20% of that 80 to get the $80 million. I won't be able to do that next year in August, but more importantly, I won't be able to make my full match unless I get the $60+ million that we need to be made whole. And that's just for this year. Next year it's going to go up. Fortunately, because of the governor and his budget principles and what we've done, we've generated a surplus, and we are one of those eligible entities to receive surplus. But I'm going to be waiting until the end of the year if we have surplus every year, if that is our practice. And so, unfortunately, 2017 was the year to be able to sustain our infrastructure system. And that's only going to meet current needs. It's not going to be anything new, not going to be an increase in funding. It will be current funding or less than what I'm spending this year. So, but this governor's committed to infrastructure, which is one of the reasons we were talking today.
And not to put words in your mouth, but are you saying that that difference in your mind should be made up by the citizens of Louisiana?
Well, I think it should, but I also believe that because it's a very complex issue, that the citizens elect legislators to make those decisions for them. And the gas tax is the only tax that's voted on by the people, but every other tax is voted on in the legislature. And I think they're the ones charged with sorting through the issues and understanding things and making the decision that's in the best interest of their district, and not so much where you go. Because every citizen that votes doesn't drive. Every citizen that votes doesn't have a car. But the legislature, they represent every citizen. So I still firmly believe it should be decided on in the legislature.
Let's talk Barksdale. The Barksdale interchange, you opened the bids yesterday. You got a contract. Were you surprised by the numbers?
Exciting. No, I was not surprised by the numbers. Well, in a sense I was, yes, because we estimated this to be a little bit more than what it actually came in as. And so I think it speaks to the value of competition. It speaks to the quality construction industry that we have. And it speaks to the ideas of innovation that we are open to, because in design build, we allow the contractor to propose things different than what we intended. And when I say different than what we intended, we have to meet a certain standard. So in the regular process, we're going to design a bridge that does X or a road that does Y. a private sector developer in design build, if it's structured the right way by the state, can propose some alternative that gets the citizens more value. And so we think we're going to see that in this project. What was estimated to be about $100+ million project came in at $71 million, which is significant in terms of a savings. But instead of having 2 flyovers, we're only going to have 1 flyover because of some alternatives in design.
Explain to people where's this interchange going to be? It's going to be right at 220, correct?
It's going to be at 220. So right now, if you're going from Shreveport to Monroe, when you get under that flyover to go toward the racetrack, if you look right, that's going to be your entrance going into Barksdale. And if you're coming down 220 to get into the interstate system on 20, if you look straight, that'll be Barksdale. And you'll be able to go straight instead of being forced to take the flyover to go left or take the off-ramp to go right. And
when will it start and how long is it going to take?
So this project, we're going to affect the contract. We go through a lengthy process to dot I's and cross T's to do the contract next month. And we're going to issue what's called a notice to proceed. And the contract is going to last 912 days. There was a difference between the 2 bids of about $10 million and 200 days. So we saved a good bit of money. It is going to take a little bit longer, but in reality, most of the work is not done on active interstate. And so you're going to see work going across it, but it's a very small portion that's going to affect the daily traffic. So 912 days. And I will tell you, Aaron, what's really excited about this project, in 2018, January 2018, when the governor and I announced this project did not have environmental clearance, did not have any funding, did not have all of the permits, did not have any procurement identified. And 13 months later, we have funding, we have a contractor identified, we've got our environmental clearance, we've got our IMR, and we've got all of the permits that we need to proceed. And so I think that's pretty darn proficient. And that's my combination of professional and efficient, and the people at the department and the private sector are working together in ways that they've never seen. And not only am I doing this one, we have another one in Loyola that is the same type of project that we're opening bids in April. And then I have another one that's a P3 that's even better because it's a toll project, and we're going to do that one in May.
Speaking of tolls, here we go. You ready?
Speaking of tolls,
your deputy secretary made a comment about a toll to fund the Mississippi River Bridge. The new one in Baton Rouge is going to cost $1 billion. My first question is, can you put a toll on a federal interstate highway?
Well, you cannot toll an interstate, but federal law allows you to put a toll on a new bridge, even if it's on the interstate. So the bridge he was referring to is not on the interstate. It is a separate new bridge in Baton Rouge, so it's not currently a part of the interstate system. There is another bridge on the interstate system in Lake Charles that we agree, and I also said the only way you're going to fund that project is with tolls because we don't have enough state money, remembering what I just talked about, and the federal government is not going to give us enough money to be able to do that either. And there are no earmarks. And so anytime you have major infrastructure, and I know people are rejecting this idea, you have to have multiple funding streams. And if you want the private sector to come to the table and help us like we do, like the president has asked us to, and we're one of 2 states, I believe, that are launching one this year, you have to be willing to let that private sector make money. And the only way they can get their money back is with a toll. And so the folks in Texas have figured it out. Georgia's figured it out. Florida's figured it out. Charlotte. I mean, all of the places that we want to be like and we compare ourselves to, guess what? They pay higher taxes for gas. They pay tolls also for that, and it's a premium. If you want premium service, you pay a premium price. And if you don't, you figure out what the regular route is, and you go through that route, whether it's trafficked or not. And so it sounds good to have that debate, but the issue is we don't have to do it, but we can't get the project any other way, I think. So unless someone has a magic wand and a bag of money, it's not going to happen and we're just being realists. We're being professionals to say, here's what other states are doing. And this is what the federal government is encouraging us to do.
Mm-hmm. Shawn Wilson, DOTD Secretary. We're up against the clock here. I can't thank you enough for your time. Please come visit us again soon.
I will do. Thank you for taking the call. Have
You
a good
bet.
one.
Uh-huh.